Hey there. My name is Darius. I am a Seattle artist, printmaker, and I am getting ready to put together my very first solo show. Just to give you guys some background if you don't know me very well, I have been making prints, exhibiting artwork for over 10 years. A lot of my pieces um, are about my experience as a Korean adoptee, um, and also as a transgender person, and how my life experiences has informed my identity. And the show that I have is coming up pretty soon. It's actually happening February of 2016. It is now September, mid-September. I am feeling a little freaked out and nervous. So the intention for this video series is mostly just to, share my process around creating art. It's mostly to keep myself in check. It's a bit of an accountability to keep myself moving forward. So I figured I'm going to try and experiment. I am going to attempt to film, not every day, but my process, warts and all, just me hanging out in my basement. This is my studio. This is the garage that I work in. I kind of take a look. My work table is mostly cleared off. It is also a bit messy. Got a lot of clearing up to do. This is my little set of flat files and all this junk that's on there. So later on in the series, you'll probably see me frantically moving things around, furniture. But today, I just would like to just start off with the intro, get things prepped, just kind of get things going. And I'll walk you through that. This might also be informative, educational for those of you who are curious about the printmaking process. Just to let you know, I'm not formally trained in printmaking. I've learned a lot of this just on my own. Fell in love with linoleum block printing when I was in high school, and I just never stopped doing it. So that has become kind of my main form of media as far as creating art. And I have been mulling around in my head. There's been a couple of ideas in my head for a long time throughout this whole year, me preparing to work. And I have one block ready to start carving, which I thought today would be a good day to kind of get going. I'll just kind of show you what you're looking at here. This is, I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera. What is this? I think this is an 8x10. Can you see that? Yeah, 8x10 block. I sometimes work in large pieces. Sometimes I've worked in smalls. It just so happens that I, several months back, made a large online order for a giant box. Here we go. I haven't really even opened it. It says 42 pounds. 42 pounds of linoleum blocks for me to just work with. I'm not quite sure how many pieces I'm going to be making, but a lot of them. So, I hope this isn't too boring. Again, this is mostly just for me personally as a way to keep myself in check. Be great if you guys want to follow along. It's awesome. But yeah, we'll go from there. Don't want to keep you too bored. Let's see how I'm going to show you what the original piece is here. I took a lot of times what I will do is I will photograph. I will set up a scene and photograph it. At least for this piece, I did. And then I'll do a tracing off of that, and I might do kind of some light sketches around that, try to block out which layers I will be creating. So hopefully if you follow this, this will make a lot more sense as you see me in this process. So this is the piece that I'm going to be working with. It is a collection of 10 plus years worth of my prescription testosterone that I inject weekly. I knew that from the very beginning when I first started taking tea that I was going to do something interesting with these. So I kept them all, actually, surprisingly, through many, many moves. And I finally had a reason to pull these off from the shelf in the little box that I've kept them in. And I made a little arrangement, and I took a photograph of how I thought the composition, tried to get the composition down. And I haven't decided what the piece will be called yet. But there's that. So I started off with that. And then I took a piece of parchment or tracing paper and just traced it over. When you're doing printing, you have to carve out the reverse, the flip side, so that way when you print it on paper, it turns out correct. Let me take this, move this off. There we go. Alright, there we go. I don't know if you can kind of see what's going on here. Anyway, this is the reverse, which I did a tracing of it. There's one side of it. One side is the pencil, just a number 2 pencil, nothing special. And then what I do is I lay it over a block, and then I meticulously, with a ballpoint pen I find works the best, which is something kind of sharp, not too sharp, you don't want to tear the paper, but I went over that once I've placed that on the block. And then what that does, very similar to carbon paper, it makes a nice graphite transfer. This I am hoping to use as the key block. And for those of you who don't know what a key block is, it's basically this will end up being essentially the darkest layer. I think it'll be black. I'll use black ink with this. But this will be the primary outline, the overall layout of the whole piece. And as I finish that one, then I'll do another transfer onto another piece of parchment, and that will then I can use that image to start building up the different layers. I haven't decided how many colors it's going to be. That's another thing that I get kind of lost sometimes when I'm having creative blocks. I always get a little tied up on the logistics of, you know, how I'm actually going to execute this. So right now, I'm just going to work on the black layers and the key block. I'm going to see how that turns out. As you can see from the image itself, there's quite a bit of black, which is the shelving unit that I had to set up on. So I don't know, you can't see this in the video, but, well, a little bit. You can see a little bit of the wood grain, so I'm probably going to keep a lot of this black and try to scratch out some of the wood grain. But the most important thing is getting all the tiny little details, and that's kind of what I really, it's the most annoying process, but the most satisfying process, too. So, getting all the fine lines and how that's going to... How is that going to turn out in the end? I never know exactly how this is going to turn out. Every time I do this, it's always a new challenge. Each piece, I've been doing this for a long time, but each piece is always a new challenge. So we will see. I won't bore you with setting this all up right now, but I just wanted to share that's my process. Okay, thanks for watching.